There's a moment that happens for so many of us. Maybe you've felt it too. You catch your reflection in the mirror, and instead of seeing the vibrant, sensual woman you know yourself to be, you see, someone who feels a little disconnected from that part of herself. Maybe life has gotten busy, or your body doesn't respond the way it used to, or you've been told that after 60, sensuality is something you're supposed to quietly let go of. But here's the truth. That part of you isn't gone. It's just waiting to be rediscovered. And no, you don't need hormones or drastic changes to do it. So today, let's talk about how to feel sensual again, in a way that's natural, joyful, and entirely yours. Because sensuality isn't about age. It's about how you feel in your own skin. And I promise, no matter where you're starting from, there are simple, beautiful ways to reconnect with that energy. Let's begin with something we often overlook: the power of touch. Not just romantic touch, though that's wonderful too, but the everyday ways we can awaken our senses. Have you ever noticed how a warm bath can feel like a luxury, or how slipping into soft, well-loved fabrics can make you sigh with pleasure? Those little moments aren't just nice. They're whispers to your body saying, "You matter, start small." Maybe it's massaging lotion into your hands slowly, really feeling the texture. Or wrapping yourself in a scarf that makes you feel elegant. These aren't grand gestures, but they're reminders that your body is something to cherish, not just maintain. And here's another key: movement. I'm not talking about grueling workouts, though if you love those, go for it. But the kind of movement that makes you feel alive. Dancing in your kitchen to a song you adored years ago. Stretching like a cat when you wake up, just because it feels good. Even walking with a little extra sway in your hips, as if you've got a delicious secret. Movement isn't just for fitness. It's a way to reconnect with the joy of having a body that's yours. Now, let's talk about something equally important: your inner voice. Because if you're constantly criticizing yourself, your wrinkles, your shape, the ways you've changed, it's hard to feel sensual. Sensuality thrives in kindness. So try this. For every critique, offer yourself a compliment. Maybe it's, "I love how my eyes still light up when I laugh," or "My hands have held so much love. They're beautiful because of it." You'll be amazed how shifting your focus can shift how you feel. We've only just begun, but already, these small steps can start to open the door back to your sensual self. And in the next part, we'll explore even more ways to deepen that connection. Because this journey isn't about turning back the clock. It's about embracing the woman you are right now and letting her shine. So tell me, which of these ideas resonates with you the most? Is it the touch, the movement, or the way you speak to yourself? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what sparks your curiosity. And if you're ready to keep going, I'll meet you in the next part, where we'll keep uncovering the beauty of feeling sensual, just as you are. One of the most beautiful things about sensuality is that it doesn't demand perfection. It thrives on presence. It's not about how you looked at 30 or 40. It's about how you feel right now in this moment. And if you're ready, there are so many ways to deepen that feeling, to let it bloom in your everyday life. Let's start with something we don't talk about enough: the power of scent. Have you ever caught a whiff of a perfume you wore years ago and suddenly been transported back to a memory? A first date, a summer evening, a time when you felt utterly alive? That's because scent is deeply tied to emotion, to desire, to the parts of us that don't age. So why not play with that? You don't need a fancy new perfume, though if you want one, treat yourself. It could be as simple as spritzing a scent you love on your wrists before bed, or lighting a candle with a fragrance that makes you pause and breathe deeper. Maybe it's the smell of vanilla or lavender, or even the crispness of fresh linen. Whatever makes you feel wrapped in something lovely. Let scent be your invisible accessory, a quiet reminder that pleasure is all around you. Now, let's talk about another secret: the magic of dressing for yourself. So often, we dress for practicality, for other people, or even to hide our bodies instead of celebrating them. But what if today you put on something just because it makes you feel good? Not necessarily sexy in the way magazines define it, but something that makes you stand a little taller, that makes you want to glide through your day. Maybe it's a blouse in a color that makes your skin glow, or a pair of earrings that catch the light when you turn your head. Could even be wearing your favorite lipstick just to run errands, because why not? When you dress for your own joy, You send yourself a powerful message. I am worth delighting. And that's where sensuality begins. And here's something else to consider: curiosity. Sensuality isn't a static thing. It's alive, and it loves to explore. Try something new just for the fun of it. Take a slow, mindful sip of a rich, dark chocolate drink, noticing how it feels on your tongue. Run your fingers over different textures: a silk pillowcase, a rough stone, the petals of a flower. Listen to music that makes your body want to move, even if it's just tapping your foot. These small acts of attention wake up your senses, and suddenly, the world feels more vibrant. I want to pause here and remind you, this isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about weaving little moments of pleasure into the life you're already living. Because sensuality isn't somewhere else, waiting for you to arrive. It's right here, in the way you choose to experience the ordinary and make it extraordinary. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into the power of connection, the joy of embracing your desires, and how to silence the voices, internal or external, that say this part of life is behind you. Because it's not. It's simply evolving, and it can be more delicious than ever. But before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever rediscovered a scent, a piece of clothing, or a simple ritual that made you feel unexpectedly alive? Share it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to try it too. And if you're feeling it, take a moment today to do one small thing just for the pleasure of it. Then meet me back here for the next part, where we'll keep opening the door to the sensual, radiant woman you truly are. There's a quiet revolution happening, one I don't think we talk about nearly enough. All around us, women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are rewriting the rules of what it means to feel sensual, vibrant, and deeply connected to themselves. And the most beautiful part? They're doing it on their own terms. No magic pills, no chasing youth, just a simple, powerful decision. I deserve to feel good in my skin. Now, if you've been with me for the last 2 parts of our conversation, you've already started exploring touch, movement, scent, and those little daily pleasures that whisper yes to your senses. But today, I want to talk about something even more profound: the way connection, both with yourself and others, can reignite that spark in ways you might not expect. Let's start with the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. Because here's the truth: sensuality begins with sovereignty. It's about reclaiming your body as your own, not as something that needs fixing or apologizing for. Try this. Stand in front of your mirror, not to critique, but to witness. Look yourself in the eye and say, "This is me, and I am enough." It might feel silly at first, but there's radical power in that act. When you stop seeing your body as a problem to solve and start seeing it as a home to cherish, everything shifts. And then there's the magic of connection with others. And no, I don't just mean romance. Sensuality thrives in laughter with friends, in the warmth of a grandchild's hug, even in the fleeting smile exchanged with a stranger. But if you do want to explore romance or intimacy, remember, desire after 60 isn't a faded version of what it once was. It's something wiser, richer, and often far more satisfying. It's not about performance. It's about presence. Light some candles, play music that moves you, and let touch be slow, curious, and free of expectation. The goal isn't to recreate what once was, but to discover what now can be. Here's something else to consider: the power of saying no so you can say yes to what truly lights you up. So often, we lose touch with our sensuality because we're pouring every bit of ourselves into caregiving, chores, or obligations. But what if you gave yourself permission to carve out tiny islands of pleasure in your day? 10 minutes with a book that makes your heart race. A long phone call with a friend who always leaves you feeling alive. Even just sitting outside with your face turned to the sun, letting it warm your skin. These aren't indulgences, they're acts of resistance against the idea that pleasure has an expiration date. And finally, let's talk about the stories we tell ourselves. Maybe you've heard that after a certain age, you're supposed to become invisible to others and even to yourself. But what if you decided to flip that script? What if you chose to believe that your sensuality isn't disappearing? It's evolving into something deeper, more nuanced, more yours than ever before. So here's my invitation to you today. Pick one thing, just one, that makes you feel vibrantly, unapologetically alive, and do it with your whole heart. Maybe it's wearing that dress you've been saving for a special occasion. Why not today? Or maybe it's finally having that honest conversation with your partner about what you truly want. Could even be as simple as letting yourself daydream without censoring where your mind wanders. Because here's what I know for sure. You are not too old. You are not past your prime. You are a woman who has lived, loved, and gathered wisdom that only makes pleasure more profound. And that is worth celebrating every single day. I'd love to hear from you. What's one way you've rediscovered your sensuality? Or one thing you're excited to try? Let's inspire each other in the comments. And if this conversation resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need to hear it too. Because every woman deserves to feel this good in her own skin. Here's to you, to your pleasure, your power, and the sensual life that's waiting for you to claim it. Until next time, remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're right here, just waiting for you to step into them.